Even by Iceland standards, the Westfjords feel remote. I mean, it's this kind of shamrock-like figure on the northwestern corner of the island that in so many ways feels like another country. You're up there and the landscape changes. It feels more raw, more remote, more barren. Upon visiting and seeing its many incredible fjords, its national parks, its glaciers, kind of left me with an impression that like, this is sort of one of those last remaining wildernesses. I wanted to design what I hoped would be a new route. The Westfjords Way is 900 kilometers of gravel, tarmac, and a little bit of hike-a-bike through what I would consider the very best of what the Westfjords have to offer. And this route was really designed as a way to inspire people to come and experience this wild place. And in many ways, tests you physically, mentally, and emotionally. It's what drew me to invite this incredible eclectic crew, Lael Wilcox, Rue, Payson, and Nicole, to all come and experience this place from a multitude of different perspectives. Our days consisted of long headwind, big climbs, massive descents, and lots of rain. But the lack of people, the lack of the options for roads, the ability to kind of wind your way and connect your way through this incredibly remote, diverse, and at times really challenging place is, I think, what all of us are searching for in an adventure. And I guess in some ways, they'll kind of realize what I've realized about Iceland, which is that it'll beat you down, but in the same moment, it'll lift you up so much. And I don't think there's another place where you feel so alive by being in it. You feel so energized by being a part of it. And I guess you could even go so far as to say that the landscape really feels alive. And that's why we rode our bikes there.
I'm Lael Wilcox. I'm from Alaska. I'm an ultra-endurance bike packer, and this was my first time in Iceland. We started in Ísafjörður 8 days ago. Massive days on the bike, a lot of challenge. Always on the water with sea air, wind coming in, passing hot springs, little pockets of light. It's always changing. I was descending a mountain pass and I turned a corner and I saw this huge waterfall. I go up to the top and I look over the edge and I got scared. I mean, the whole experience of it is constantly dynamic and challenging, but also extremely rewarding with what you get to see. You know, it's kind of the experience you would expect to have over 10 years you have in a week.
My name is Rugila Kaldita. I just go by Rue. My passion lies in taking photos and videos, and the best way to do that, I think, is on the bike. And to have the freedom to do that over a week, I mean, that's like such a joy. And then I think what makes bike packing and bike touring so special is that if you can do it with other people, then you have a shared experience. And you just laugh about the weather, right? Or you laugh about like what you saw or how cold you got in the descent or how fast the descent was. And you want others to experience it. And even if they're not biking, you want them to just see it. You know, it's not going to be around forever. And there's only so many places you could go in the world during your lifetime, but this is definitely one of them. I think this is one of the most special places we've ever been.
My name's Payson McKelvin. I'm from Durango, Colorado. My background is predominantly in racing. This is my first time to Iceland, but I never imagined that my first experience would be this epic and this awesome. I've never been to a landscape like this. It felt like a different planet in a way. As many people have heard, the climate and the weather here is quite harsh.
It's so cold!
I mean, there was a period of time where Nicole and I were just trudging into this headwind for such a long period of time, and it was so unbelievably brutal that we just burst out laughing. The Westfjords Way is inspiring for so many reasons. The most obvious is just the terrain and the landscape, but it goes really far beyond that. I mean, the history of the place. Stories about polar bears that floated across from Greenland, and stories of incredible storms, stories of lifestyle in Iceland, you know, what the houses looked like just not too long ago, and just the relationship with the ocean and the sea. It just feels like people are so in touch with the natural environment here. Yeah, completely unlike anything I've ever done.
My name's Nicole Baker, and I'm a mountain biker and live in Durango, Colorado. And this is my first time in Iceland. The Westfjords feel wild, free, but also comforting. There were many times of the trip that we'd be riding and just feeling like we're in the wilderness, and then there'd be just some charming shack-looking building with really happy people that are excited to run out and serve you waffles. On the first day, we came across an Arctic fox sanctuary and got to see this one little guy running around. And that was really neat and unique. And then 15 minutes later, we stumble across this little shack. We get inside, and it's actually a museum. We were served coffee and waffles, and I think right away we all kind of knew that this was going to be a different kind of trip, where we were going to have these types of charming stops and we were going to be surprised around every corner. There's not that many adventures where you are going to be wildly uncomfortable, but then you come back and it's possible for you to experience something really lovely and comforting. And there's just not a whole lot of places that you can do that.
So my name is Chris Burkhardt, and I've spent the last 20 years with a camera attached to my face documenting some of the best athletes in the world, all over the world. And I came out to Iceland 2006, 2007, my first trip, and I've been almost 50 times now. Something keeps calling me back, and I feel like in some ways it really is these empty, beautiful stretches of road where I know that you can ride endlessly. There's no doubt that there's gonna be a moment that will suck. I mean, it's gonna be challenging. The wind is gonna be hitting your face. You can't hear anything. It's gonna be pouring rain, and it gets so bad so fast. But then you rip around that fjord, you rip around that corner, and all of a sudden that headwind becomes a tailwind. And all of a sudden the worst day turns into the best day you've ever had. I mean, I can vividly remember day 7. We started out with 4,000 feet of climbing before 9 a.m. and then we plateaued this massive dirt climb and dropped into a huge waterfall, Dinyandi, and then we finished the day with a nearly unrideable 30 miles around the fjord. And I mean, we're walking our bikes under waterfalls. We're moving through cobbles on the beach, an old road that a farmer carved with a tractor. I just remember being in that moment thinking, this is the best day I've ever had on a bike. This is the best day I've ever had on 2 wheels, and I wish that it could have lasted forever. So here's fair warning for anybody who wants to come. This route, this place, it'll change you. It has the potential to make you someone who appreciates nature on a deeper level. You'll hate it at times, you'll love it at times, but one thing's for certain, you're gonna meet incredible people. You're going to experience this landscape in a way that's hard to appreciate in any other format. On 2 wheels, going slow, moving through this incredible magic place is maybe one of the most intimate ways you can experience this beauty and this wildness that Iceland has to offer and is still very much alive in the Westfjords.
Westfjords Way. It's the only way to finish it. With a cold dip in the Atlantic. Ah! Woo! Y'all ready to party? Slow roll. All right, time to start again.